Hey guys, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Christy. I'm a homeschool mom to 3 kids, and today I'm going to be sharing all about some early reader books. So I want to start this off by saying I have never taught any of my kids how to read, but we are headed in that direction. I will have a kindergartner next year, and so from the gist of what I'm getting, it's important to have a variety of early reader books for your kids to practice with while they're learning to read. So today I'm going to share with you some of the ones that I've purchased for this learning to read journey. I don't think I could do this video without mentioning Bob books. Bob books, I feel like, are probably the most well-known early reader book. They have a lot of different sets, all based on like levels and ability and that sort of thing. I have the beginning reader set, the advancing beginners set, and the sight word set. And then we also have the pre-reader set that we've actually already used quite a bit in kind of practicing those letter sounds and that sort of thing. Bob books are really nice because they're simple. The drawings are very simple, not distracting. The words are simple and straightforward. The stories don't have a lot of like meat to them, but that's fine for those early readers when they're first starting out learning to read. It's better to keep it kind of simple and so they can focus on the words rather than like a busy picture or something like that. So I think that these are going to be really great for that beginning time of learning to read. The next set I have is the boxed beginner books set A from The Good and the Beautiful. I ordered these because they were on sale, like a really good sale, and so I just picked some up. And these are really, really beautiful. The illustrations are beautiful. The topics and the stories in here are definitely more meaty than Bob books. There's more of a storyline. They also kind of go into a little bit of nonfiction, which I think is an important thing for kids to be exposed to early so that they're not just getting used to reading just fictional stories and that they can kind of start to comprehend information in nonfiction texts as well. These are super cute. Really good illustrated books. They have simple 2 to 3 letter words and a short list of sight words. The first page of each book helps children practice their sight words and memorize the vowels and more. That has 10 books in it, and I believe they have a couple other box sets, but they may be discontinuing them. I'm not sure. I thought I heard a rumor that they were. I don't know if they still have these, but if they do, I will link them down below. Next, I have the Dash into Learning, and I have set 1 and set 2, and Dash into Learning is a really beautiful company. The artwork is gorgeous, and definitely one of the main reasons I purchased these books is just the artwork and the stories. They're just so sweet and beautiful, and the stories are definitely more complex than like the Bob books. The characters are very adorable and diverse. This is actually meant to be a reading program, and so on the first page of each book there is a lesson to go through, and you just go through the steps, make sure the child masters each step, and then move on, and then they can read the story. And I definitely see a benefit in using a reading program like that, just because it's actually in a book and they're actually reading real books while they're learning to read. Like, instead of from a reading curriculum, it's just an actual book. And getting them used to, you know, looking at books and navigating books, I think that that's like definitely a benefit for sure. They also have some activity packs that you can print off that helps practice their skills that they're learning. Dash into Learning actually has quite a few different resources. They have poetry books, they have emotional intelligence book and curriculum, they have handwriting books, and so much more. So definitely go check out their company. It's beautiful. Next, I have the Usborne My First Reading Library. This is a massive set of beginning reading books. I'm actually an Usborne consultant, so this has been on my radar for a few years now, and I purchased this quite a while ago just for future use because I love it so much and I think it's so great. So they start with the green books and they just move on up as their levels and skills increase. And what's cool about these books is they are dual readers. So the parents are supposed to read the black writing and then the children read the writing that's bolded. And I think that that is such a great concept and such an awesome way to kind of partner with your child through learning to read. I think that that makes it so much fun for them and kind of helps take the pressure off of them a little bit when you're doing it with them. Eventually, they're going to be able to read the story on their own, and also the story makes sense both ways. If you leave out the parent part and the child just reads the bold part, it still is a story. While it's definitely a more simple story, it still flows and makes sense. So even if you weren't reading along with your child, it still would make sense to them. Another thing that I love about this is they have some comprehension activities in the back of the book, little puzzles and questions and kind of like putting the story in order and that sort of thing, which I think is a great, great, great tool to use to really help make sure that they are understanding what they're reading. Stories in here are so beautiful and fun. They actually feature a lot of classic stories, such as The Lion and the Mouse, The Tortoise and the Eagle, Ant and the Grasshopper, and stories like that. There are a bunch of fun stories in here. Along the same lines, the Usborne Read with Usborne books are similar to the books that are in my first reading library. So these are leveled readers. I would say like even the level 1 is a little bit more advanced than what you'd see in like a one of like Bob books or something like that. Like these are definitely, once they have kind of like grasped how to read. I know that we used these actually with my oldest daughter when she had learned to read. Like I said, I didn't teach her to read. She was in school, but she would come home and read these to me. And they go all the way up to level 4, I believe, and they're just really fun stories. They also have the comprehension puzzles in the back too. So if you didn't want to invest the money in the My First Reading Library, however, it is a great value. If you didn't want to spend the money on that, you could just buy a few of these individually and kind of get the same concept in a way. They don't go up as high. There's not as broad of a range, but they are really great too, and they're only $3.99 a piece. Another Usborne series, I'm going to mention Usborne a lot because they do early reading really well. They have a lot of resources for those beginning readers. This is a series made by Sally Rippin, and Sally Rippin is an author that Usborne has that is very well known for dyslexia. She creates writing that the font is good for dyslexic kids. She has a dyslexic child, so she was inspired by that. And so all of her books are very dyslexic friendly. This is a newer series that they came out with, I think the end of last year, School of Monsters. And this is a really sweet story, and again, a dual reading component where you read the black and then the child reads the bolded colored word, the last word in the line, and then they move up and up until they can read the whole story themselves. These are really funny, they're silly, they're just about a little cute little monsters in their little monster school. They have a how to use this book in the back if you want to read about that and some tips on how to use it. They also have little how to draw the character things in the back, which is super cute as well. So there are actually quite a few in this series. I only have 2 of them right now, but they've since come out with quite a few other ones. Last but not least, I'm going to mention Elephant and Piggie. So we were actually given a whole huge stack of these books, and I think they're going to be really great for my son for when he's learning to read. These are really funny stories. From what I know, a lot of kids find them really humorous, which I think anytime a child can laugh at what they're reading, that forms a really good connection. And so I like that these are a little more silly and funny, and they kind of have like speech bubbles and such, so they're kind of like comic-y, and they're really, really super cute little stories. Like I said, I have a huge stack of these, so we're going to be good for a while with these. So those are all of my early reader books I have to show you today. I don't know if we're going to use them all. I have no idea. I don't know what I'm doing, but I definitely wanted to make sure I had a large variety of books to practice with, and so I hope that this does it. We'll see, I guess. But I hope you found something helpful from this. I will try to link all of the books down below if you are curious in some of them, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in another video very soon. Bye.